Melon. Meloncollieflaur です。Hello everyone. I am meloncollieflaur. You know what today is? It's Watermelon Wednesday. スイカ曜日だよ。スイカ水曜日だよ。ごめんなさい。We've made it to the middle of the week once again. Just a few more days into the weekend. Get your projects done. Keep doing great. Be it school or work. Anything you're getting done right now. I believe in you. You can do this. You're doing fantastic. Please continue to do so. おはようございます。こんにちは。こんばんは。私はメロンコリーフラワーです。今日の配信はスイカゲームだよ。So, let's get started. Wow. Oh. I was scrolling through, I think YouTube earlier, and I guess Pokemon Legends ZA is out. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you've already gotten it and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I know it's been highly anticipated. But I don't know. Hello Melon, glad to be here for Watermelon Wednesday. Hello Bob, come on. Hope you're doing well today. Sorry. Nice to see you. Oh. Oh. Okay. Alright. Great. Back up on. Doing some leg workouts since I haven't been to the gym in a bit. Oh, you're exercising. Just don't overdo it. Make sure you do your stretches. Oh. Okay. Of course, gotta stretch the legs before the workout. Yeah. Even though stretching the legs is the workout as well, funnily enough. Okay, so pick up on cherry. Wow. Persimmon. Oh. There we go. Melon. Nice. Okay. Cherry, strawberry, persimmon, strawberry, cherry. Great. Brown. Cherry. Are you doing well, Melon? How are you? I'm doing pretty well. Doing well today. I know I'm doing 2 like late-ish streams in a row. But that's mostly because I've been waking up later lately. But I'm doing well. I feel great. How are you? Oh. Back up on. Strawberry. Aww. Yeah, that's the daylight savings kicking in for everyone soon. I thought that it was ending soon, though. Or am I wrong about that? Right? I don't actually know. I know for the States it's like in November, where the time goes back. Cherry. Yeah, I think we get 1 more hour of sleep in November. Okay. So, yeah, whenever it goes backwards, doesn't that mean that daylight savings is over then? Or does that mean that's when it starts? I always got confused with that. Because I thought the whole point of daylight savings was to have more time during the day. But I guess by that logic, it would make more sense if time goes backwards. But then again, people call it daylight savings time during March, right? I don't know. It always confuses me. I just know that it changes twice a year. For like most of the world, I guess. I wish we didn't really have to though. Well, It's still just by the time that the sun sets and rises, right? Which is usually around 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. I guess. Depending. Great. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay. Cherry. Since I'm a big night owl, I've seen how the sun stopped rising at 6 a.m. and it changed to 7ish. Yeah. Yeah. I don't live in a big city or anything like that, but I have noticed when like at times when around like 6 a.m. or so is when the sky is slightly blue. It's still dark though, and then it starts getting bright, I guess at 6:30 to 7 in the morning, I guess. Depending. Okay. Oh. Ah! No. 21:45. 2144. Or Yojuyon? 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 Shoganai Melon. Okay. Persimmon. Grape. Okay. Grape. Cherry. Grape. Persimmon. Cherry. Pick up on. Cherry. Okay. Strawberry, persimmon. Persimmon. Nice. Okay. Strawberry. Hmm. Melon, are there any games you're excited about getting? Well, excited, not really, but I'm looking forward to getting that Yoshi game. Which is to be determined. It looks really cute and adorable, and I really like the art style, so, or the art direction, I guess it's called. And so I'm looking into getting that one, or the Yoshi and the Mysterious Book or something like that. I'm not sure what it's called. But not necessarily excited. Wait, Yoshi game. So when there was a Mario Direct, they introduced like a Yoshi game at the tail end of the Mario 40th anniversary bit, which is rather strange, but they did it, so. But yeah, I think I want to get that one. Okay. Melon. Good. Can I make this work? I wonder. Okay. Do this. Drop. I was watching the tapier woman before joke. I was watching the tapier woman before joining, and I almost forgot to join till she said something about Wednesday. Well, I am a very, very small streamer and content creator who barely creates content, so I can definitely understand that. So don't feel too bad about that. Oh no, 1585. 1580度。はい。1580度。But that proves something to me as well. Sometimes people do need, or sometimes viewers do need a reminder that something is going on. There's been this interesting divide that I've noticed lately between when people make videos and stuff, and like they'll say at the end, especially for shorts, I guess, they'll say at the end like, comment, subscribe and stuff like that. And for some people, it's a reminder. It's like, oh yeah, I did like the content. I should do that. I almost forgot. And for others, it's like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like it when people do this all the time at the end of their videos. If I'm going to subscribe to their content or like their content, the content should be enough to tell me. And I'll do it if I really like it and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, really. Creators are trying to do what they can, because obviously they do want to get noticed if they are like somewhat of a live streamer. If they're just a content creator where they're like developing maybe an art portfolio or something, I guess it's a little different. And then people are going to just watch their stuff anyway, because people do love to look at artists and stuff like that. That's just going to happen. In fact, I think storytime artists are growing again, which I didn't even know about for one point. But they're growing again, and so it's a thing. I got a 30-minute reminder, but I wish the YouTube notification actually made noises because I forget. See, that's what I mean. For most people, that would get annoying because they would have so many people that they've subscribed to or been notified to. So they'd probably just hear a chime every like 12 seconds. For example, on my phone, I get YouTube notifications. Every hour, I know that it means that someone has gone live. If it's within the hour, like closer to 10 minutes to 40 minutes or so, it means someone probably dropped a video. Because people tend to try to start their streams on the hour. Or something like that. So, but yeah, a lot of people actually get annoyed. They're like, I'm not going to subscribe to a channel if they tell me to, and stuff like that. And I guess that's more like a, what's the word? Reverse psychology thing. So you can't tell me what to do type of thing. It's like, well, I guess that's true, yeah. No one can make you do that. But that's not our intent. It's not malicious. It's not supposed to be mean. But I can understand where people are coming from. But some people want to grow. They're small. If they stay small forever, that means their channel becomes dead, and then you end up being in that situation where a comment says, why am I getting this video 10 to 15 years later? Or why did this video pop up in my feed 10 to 15 years later? Or people say like goated algorithm or something like that, and all that type of stuff. Even though goated doesn't make sense, by the way. Goated is not a good expression, because the goat makes sense. Goat makes sense, but goated does not make sense. Because you don't say greatest of all time. So, if something is the goat, then it is the goat, but it's not goated. That's weird. It sounds weird. But yeah, no, I do think that people do need those reminders. That, or we've just gotten so used to it that it almost feels like we're not capable enough to like hold a schedule and stuff like that. Which, let's be honest, I don't hold a schedule other than doing SUIKA game on Wednesdays. It's usually a toss-up of whether or not I'm going to stream on a Tuesday or a Saturday. So, you know, the act of being a goat or something. No. That would be like goating, I think. Maybe, I'm not sure. Either way, it's an acronym, so it doesn't work. It has to only be goat or the goat. Because the last word is time. But yeah, that will actually deter a lot of or quash a lot of motivation for newer content creators. But then again, the thing about it is too is that you actually do need to focus more on, if you are a creator, you need to focus more on what you are making, what you are creating. Oh, nice. Oh, right on. Once you get something stabilized, or you know what you want to do, what you want to create, then People will naturally come to you. Melon. I think a lot of times people fall into the mistake of, because if you watch your favorite streamers and stuff, they fall into this trap of thinking, well, a lot of people are watching them and they're doing things that they like. I could do that too. And then they realize after maybe the first month or two that they aren't blowing up. And then they wonder why. And it's because they're probably focusing on getting people to watch them as opposed to focusing on just trying to stabilize their content and stuff like that, or solidify their content. Once you solidify your content and you're consistent about it, people will actually come to you. Like I said, with the storytime artists, they become very addicting because they're very interesting, and then the art, style, it changes every so often, and it's just talking about like something that's happening in their life. It's kind of like Draw My Life from back in the day. It feels like that's come back, but in a more fresh form, I guess. But those become very addicting. But I guess if the whole like comment subscribe thing isn't like in your face so much, then it's okay. If it maybe pops up every so often, like pops up maybe once, but like without, I guess, someone saying it, but you see like the button maybe, then I guess it's okay. But like I said, I guess it just depends, and it depends on how you want to, what type of community that you're trying to go for anyway. I think I got shadow banned for making a video saying I'm gonna slow down for content because I'm getting no views. I don't know. That's what's weird. Well, you have to understand too, Bob. Like, let's take me for example. I only post like 1 or 2 things. I don't post very often. And I've been streaming for 2 years. And I have 92 subscribers, I believe. So, like, I know why my numbers are low. Plus, SUIKA game isn't that interesting. So, it's not something that's going to go viral again, right? So, but I enjoy playing it though. And I enjoy doing it every Wednesday. This is something that I've made my own. And I enjoy it. But it seems like in this environment of internet culture, you constantly need something to watch, like flipping through channels every 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds or so. And so I guess that's why YouTube introduced shorts way back. Even though shorts don't really generate long-term viewership. They just want that, I guess it's called dopamine. I've been at this for 5 years. The last series I did got roughly 50 views. Why is this not showing up on my... I just realized. Hold on. I don't even know if it's going to do it. Why is it not showing up? You know what? YouTube is actually broken though. Since I still see handles instead of the names. So maybe that's why. But, did get roughly 50 views per episode, give or take. Yeah. So you had some consistency there, but then you slowed down, right? So if you slowed down and you only upload every so often, and there's nothing else to watch on the channel, then people are going to see it as a dead channel. As far as how YouTube does it, I'm not sure how the algorithm works. But like I said, I don't produce much, which is my own fault. 1898. Sen 800, no, sen 800, 800, 1898. 800. I noticed that when it comes to doing language learning stuff, I think it just depends on, it feels like it depends on who you are. Because if I wanted to study Japanese or something on a stream, I don't think it would really generate too many views per se. That only works for people who are already big, I think. And it might depend on what you're learning and who's learning it. So like, usually if Japanese people are learning English through some means, then it's entertaining enough for people like it, you know? But it feels like the opposite way, not so much. But I think that also has more to do with internet culture or just culture in general. Since a lot more people speak English than Japanese, like a lot of people have English as their secondary language, but not necessarily Japanese. So it feels a little different, I think. I'm gonna keep at it. Just a little demoralizing is all. That's the thing. It is very demoralizing. I will say this though, Bob. Don't fall for the videos that go, are you a small streamer and you're not generating views? Click on this video. Because if you do that, not only will you get more videos like that, but you're going to see a lot of comments in those videos that say, small streamers gather here. And in all honesty, that's not actually going to help you with growth, because it's not going to keep viewers coming to your channel. Of course, that does zero help. Exactly. It doesn't help. That's why I say the best thing that you can really do if you are creating something or uploading things, just be consistent about it, or honestly upload when you feel like, because you are going to be at your best when you do something that you want to do. And if people find that interesting and they find it professional looking and stuff like that, then they will sub and continue to watch you, and maybe they'll tell their friends about you as well. You just have to be careful, because you may end up getting a community that you don't like. I'm not saying that you necessarily pick your community, but you do actually form your community. Just like how I guess some streamers or some content creators are known for being like really really ragey, I guess. And so that's what their viewers expect. And even if something like serious happens and they say, you know, this isn't a joke, stop this, they're still going to joke about it, because they're so used to that. They're not going to be used to the streamer being so serious about something if they are always like constantly ragey or screaming and stuff. So, like for example, another example, if you are viewer chasing, then that means you're going to look into games that are very popular. A huge example, or an easy example, is Minecraft, because everyone plays Minecraft. If you go into that knowing that it's popular, but you don't actually care much for Minecraft, it will show. And then you will get viewers who really like it and will talk about it a lot, but you won't be into it, and then you'll feel like you made a mistake. So you definitely need to do something that you really do enjoy. Do something that you enjoy and let the people who enjoy your stuff come to you. That is the best way to go about it that I know of. But then again, I'm small, so I guess it wouldn't really make sense to take my advice per se. But it's just a little insight, is all. I think just being you, or just being that character that you're trying to portray, will actually send you farther. Because it's kind of hard to keep up a guise or a ruse, you know? If you're just genuine and you have something that's really cool, then it's okay. You know, the weird thing is my series 2 years ago is getting views. I understand that though. That's what makes it interesting, right? My owner has a video that was made about 11 years ago, I think, that still gets views. And that's really weird. Even though they are very active, that still gets views. I guess it's because people, when they find a channel, they click on popular, right? They probably click on popular, and then they take a look at those videos, even if it is 11 years ago. It's very interesting how that works. So yeah, no, I get that. I absolutely get that. It's a very weird thing. But you never know how the algorithm works. Like I said, sometimes you will get a video in your feed that was from 15 years ago. I don't know what determines that. Because it's pretty clear that those videos don't really need the help in terms of like engagement. It's the smaller videos. And even if those videos don't do well, someone still saw it though. It still counts as people seeing it. Even if you look at it for what, 10 seconds, 12 seconds or so? I think it still counts as a view anyway. So if it only has like 5 views or something like that, then that means that algorithm isn't pushing it. Probably. So it is very interesting. So then it leads you to going, well, I need to try this and I need to try that. And then you end up falling for a trap yourself, where you're creating things that generates views, but you yourself, the creator, aren't enjoying it. And that's a scary thing, because then your views are going to demand more of that stuff. So close to a melon. Yeah, I screwed it up. So yeah, just definitely focus on what you're doing. I'm not gonna tell you to not worry about the numbers, Melon. That's a big thing that people say. A lot of people say don't worry about the numbers, but you do need to worry about the numbers if you are trying to get monetized. The platform tells you what you need to do in order to get paid anyway, even if it is a what's called, I guess people call it a side hustle. You still need to have, you know, a certain amount of hours of watch time, a certain amount of viewers or subscribers and stuff like that. That's why people do that push. That's why on Twitch people do the subathon stuff as well, or fellowship stuff and whatnot, because they're aiming for affiliate, they're aiming for a partner and stuff like that. It's not always about the money. It helps, but then those viewers do help generate I guess hype, I guess, to the point where if you become so big that you could literally do anything because people just enjoy the vibe, and you will be fine. Which can make some people jealous, because you could go, why is it that this big streamer is playing this game and they're not very good at it, and they're getting so many views, versus me being really good at this thing and I'm getting no views? And in that case, you kind of learn that it's not necessarily about being good at the game, I guess. Unless you're under like, unless you're doing like tips and tricks or something like that, or you're trying to speedrun, maybe. It's more about the vibe, I guess, and it's more about the experience. Whenever you watch a streamer for the first time, playing a game for the first time, even though you know it from start to finish, people tend to like that experience because then they discover the things for the first time. But the downside to that usually is that a lot of times people don't have enough of a filter to let the streamer actually play the game through. without someone spoiling or anything like that. Which I think is a huge problem. I guess one could argue, well, if they're streaming the game to a bunch of people, they expect to have some sort of spoilers. Because otherwise, why would they stream it to a bunch of people? But at the same time, if they're trying to experience it for the first time, they're like, I'm experiencing this for the first time. Come watch with me. Or something like that, right? Or, you know, keep me company. But, I don't know. It's not always about the money, Spider-Man. Right. Slow growth actually is endearing. It's only demoralizing when you say play a game and you don't get many views, and then someone else plays the same game either an hour later or a day later and they have a lot of views. But then again, once again, I think that has more to do with the fan base that they already have as opposed to the game that they're actually playing. You never really know, but I do say keep at it. If you are passionate about it, I say keep at it. Like, I'm still trying to learn Japanese, and it is difficult considering that I don't have anyone locally to talk to, but I'm not giving up. I think it's a nice language. It definitely feels a lot faster than English. It feels like the pacing is a lot faster, and it feels more tongue twister like to me. But I think once you understand or get the rhythm, you are able to hear in between words, or at least be able to discern in between the words and stuff like that. That's why speaking and reading are really different. You probably have more people in Japan who speaks Japanese than those who write or memorize kanji anymore. And that's keeping in mind that Japanese kanji is like simplified in a way, because if you look at the original like Chinese kanji, there's way more, and way more strokes as well. So imagine that too. But obviously if you see the words over and over, then you will get used to that. There are some words where they don't use kanji at all. They just use the hiragana spelling or the katakana spelling. I think with a lot of animals they use katakana spelling. With a lot of fruit, I think they either do hiragana or katakana. I'm not entirely sure. But there is kanji for it. Or like with saying the word for pretty or cute, those have kanji as well. But I think most of the time people spell them out in hiragana. Usually. On the internet at least, that I know of. When I first saw the kanji for sushi, I thought it was very scary, but I got used to it. But when I see the kanji for apple, I find it to be scary. But at the same time, I know that a lot of people don't really use the kanji for apple. Like I said, they do use the kanji for pretty sometimes. Kirei, I think. Kirei na. It's very interesting. Let's see. Melon, does this model have other emotions? It only has 2. It's this one and bounce, basically. I didn't commission more because, well, I knew I was only going to use it for like mostly October. But at the same time, it's really cute. I just really like it. So you know. Maybe I could commission more though. I guess it couldn't hurt. Huh. But yeah. Just neutral, neutral, eyes open, eyes closed, and then the bouncing one that I usually do for the end of my streams. It's a great design though. I really like it. That's why I am happy to present it. I really like the scythe idea for the stem. Okay, just kind of curious because every now and then you throw out the smug on the other model. Yeah, I know. Maybe I can commission that. Maybe I should do that from now on. That would be really funny. Smug is always nice, actually. But yeah. Just stay motivated. I guess look at it. Start viewing your channel more as if you were doing a project for school. And just be as genuine as possible. And grow from there. Or just know what projects that you're trying to work on. Present yourself as if you're maybe at a business meeting as well. Because people do like professionalism. I've noticed that some people go, from the way that you present yourself and the way that you do your videos, I would have thought you were a bigger streamer. Or rather, a bigger content creator. How is it that you're not getting as many views and stuff like that? And it turns out they probably just started, but they're just very professional at it. Or they've done a lot of research as well. And I commend that because there is such thing as too much brain rot. So I think that's a nice change of pace. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. Oh, it's working good. I'm doing 2 series at once, one in English and one in Spanish. It's Pokemon Auras and I'm doing art for the Pokemon too. Oh, you're actually playing through it? That's really cool, actually. 3DS content, isn't as common as it used to be. Well, I say common, but even at the time it wasn't very common because 3DS is has unofficial capturing methods. But that's really cool. I have noticed that people actually, if they do want to stream 3DS, they actually will put a camera to their system though. You do what you have to do, you know, if you really want to. Because if you see a bunch of people streaming games, like streaming a bunch of Pokemon games from the other series and stuff like that, you go, well, my favorite is this one, but I don't have a good way of showing it, so I'll just do it this way. And it may seem weird at first, but if that's the only way you can do it, then you might as well, right? Like, my owner spent a lot of money on a capture card 3DS. I'll be honest with you, it cost them around 800 USD. That's a lot. You could buy like 3 Switches with that, maybe. I don't know. But I guess it's up to both the streamer and the viewers to decide whether or not that was a good idea. So if they stream with it, right? Or if they create content with it, then it's fine. Because if they are a streamer, if they actually play or stream games and stuff, and don't want any latency or anything like that, or any like weird illegal means and stuff like that, then it kind of works. Yeah, I remember starting out, the box cutout was the chief way. The box cutout? What's that? What do you mean, the box cutout? I'm curious actually. 教えてください、メロン。あ。あ。Huh. Okay. Great. But I do remember a streamer a long time ago when they ended up getting their older 3DS modded for capture, because this was before the new 3DS came out. And they were playing a few 3DS games during the 3DS era, obviously. You'd get a box, cut a hole for the camera, and one for your hands to play so no light reflected on the screen. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I didn't know about that. Honestly, that's cool. I kind of like that. See, people will do what they have to do if they really want to do something. That's just how that works, right? It breathes innovation. Ohayou gozaimasu! Genki desu ka? Huh. Huh. What? Huh. Okay. Ah. 1848 1848 Huh. But I guess that is really interesting though. Because you will see a lot of people who stream, like, obviously some of the older stuff, like NES games, Super Nintendo games, Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy Color games. Obviously we do have like Switch NSO and stuff like that, but there are some games that don't come out on those. And depending on how you stream it, well, I guess for most it's neither here nor there, but it's normal is fine. You got the Melon. But like, that exists. But the 3DS library is huge. So having a way to actually stream that and show the world and stuff, if you enjoy the games, of course, is already a market in itself. And it's always nice when people go, oh hey, I played this game a long time ago, or this game was my childhood, which I obviously, you know, if someone says that this game was my childhood and it's the 3DS, it kind of lets you know when they were born, right? But at the same time, if you did play it when you were younger, obviously, then it's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe. Okay. Oh, I can read your tag now. One Melon. That's a lot easier for me. The handle, rather, because YouTube is doing something weird for right now. I'm not sure why it's handle only. It's probably to get rid of bots, maybe, since there is a huge bot issue. But who knows? Because people even do videos going, as bad as this is, people do videos going, I started a new channel to generate views, this is what I did, and part of it was either botting or buying views. And it's like, how does that work? How does that even work and why? That's weird. YouTube has been odd in general right now. Like mine has been having trouble loading in general. Really? I haven't been having any load things. Bro, my brain turned off writing that. No, you're good. It's fine. It's okay. I know you rewrote general and stuff. It's okay. It is fine. But yeah, people are doing like studies, I guess, and whatnot. But it honestly, it just all comes down to, what do you feel like watching? You turn on the television, you flip through channels. Oh, this looks interesting, right? And if you see enough of that stuff, then you go, you know what? Maybe I will bookmark this channel or whatever it is, you know, or I will go back to the guide to remember which channel I want to go back to. But that's why the subscribe button is super useful for that. But then some people probably think, if I sub to everyone that I like, then I'll get a lot of notifications. But that's why there's an option for Melon for getting all notifications or some notifications, or when they go live and stuff like that. It's just to help, really. It's just to help. I guess it would also help to branch out to people too. I'm not saying go, oh, my favorite streamer is playing this, I should reach out to them, because chances are your favorite streamer is like in the 100,000s to maybe a silver play button. And that's going to look really weird, because it's like small creator goes to big creator and goes, hi, I need help. So that gets really weird. And so the connotations end up being really weird as well. But if you see people who are like fellow streamers or something, like in a Discord or something, I'm gonna reach out to you. What am I doing though? I'm just playing SUIKA game. Plus I only ever like use like Instagram, which barely I do that. I know that sometimes I get messages there, but I never really use it though, and I apologize for that, because I know people actually do message me or send me stuff. But I don't really use anything else. And that has more to do with like fear and stuff. Like how I would never use X or anything like that either. But it's like, but Melon, that's how you can promote yourself. That's how people can learn about you. How are people supposed to know who you are if you don't promote yourself on places? I know that people hate ads, but they might see you to be interesting. It's like, I get that, but X is very toxic. Any social media can be, but X is definitely known for being toxic. It's one of the reasons why there was a blue sky movement. The only downside to that is that people got so used to high viewership and high numbers that they decided to go from blue sky back to X, which is really sad, because it means that they forgot the whole reason why they left X in the first place. But they missed all of those numbers. X is the worst, too much toxicity. Well, you can't spell X without toxicity, so. Or I guess you can't spell toxic. Why can't I say this word? Toxicity without X. It used to be Tumblr, had the toxic stuff, but then the migration happened. That's the thing too. That's something that's very important. If you have like a social media or a social platform and people migrate from one platform to the other, if the same people are migrating to that platform, then that platform is also going to be toxic, because It's the same people migrating to it. So it's not that the platforms are bad, unless it's like huge bot issues, which is what I've heard about X. That in politics, but I mean, even politics happen on like everywhere else too. So, but mostly the bot stuff. But if you're against certain things, then you move over to the platform, then you know that's fine. But if the same toxic people go over to new platform because new platform is generating more views, it's pretty clear what they're going there for, but then the problem stays the same. It's just the same problem by a different name. But I don't think it's the platform itself unless it's the bot issue. Ah, SUIKA. Ah, no. Ah. 2140, wait, which one is it? 2129. 2129. I'll do one more. That tends to always happen, huh? You get like a SUIKA at the end. A SUIKA game over, yeah. The rare SUIKA game over. That was scary. But I think if people honestly just acted a little better socially, I think everything would be fine. People have gotten too comfortable with hurting people's feelings, at least in a childish manner. My thought process is I wouldn't want to fight someone in real life. I'm not gonna fight someone online either. At least not with like the childish bad mouthing or mudslinging and stuff like that. That's not fun. People throw out buzzwords that will trigger, you know, and there are plenty of them. It's like there's nothing worse than trying to like listen to an argument. Someone tries to put out what they're trying to say, but then they end up using specific targeting words that will ignite fires in people, like insults, like certain insulting words and stuff. It's like, this argument would have been fine had you not decided to use specific words like these or specific labels or titles like these. But since you've said these words, you've now like lost the plot, I guess. And that's bad. Having an opinion is okay. Having differing opinions are okay as well. But like trying to put two and two together, going, well, if person likes this, that means they associate with this, and this is against these people type situation, which happens a lot, by the way. Okay. How do I fix this? Pulling at strings, yeah. It's like, what are you actually trying to do in that case? It feels like rallying, which is really bad. But yeah, that's why social media is scary. The art sites are better because obviously the main reason for those sites is to post art. Regardless of, you know, the type of art. But the point is that they're posting art. It's not How are you feeling today? Oh, such and such person is being this, and they're ruining the environment, this and stuff, you know, and stuff like that. And then that becomes a whole thing. Join a group for the purpose of the thing. Because that's why the group exists. If you are really into... What's an obscure game? Or a game that people don't talk about anymore. If you're really into Sly Cooper... and you would like to talk about Sly Cooper, then you would go to like a forum or a group or a Discord group or whatever that talks about Sly Cooper and stuff like that. I think people are actually afraid to go into groups of things that they actually enjoy, even though that is what it's for. That's why the group was formed, literally for that thing. I played the first game and loved it, except the final boss. I've heard about that. I've never played, but I have friends that grew up with Sly Cooper. I even remember the television commercials too. I messed that up. Wow. Okay. But that's how that goes. But then again, everything gets out of proportion. Because it's very easy to go, well, once a group gets too big, then it becomes really weird. But that's because it's so many different people with differing opinions about things. Or not even differing opinions, but more like differing levels of enjoyment. You have some people who casually like Sly Cooper. You have some people who live and breathe Sly Cooper. You have people with Sly Cooper personas, stuff like that, right? That's probably what happens. And that happens with any type of fandom, I think. So people will go, I like this game, but I'm not a fan of the community because of how crazy it gets or something like that. And this goes for a lot of communities or a lot of games. So it's an interesting world that we live in. I happen to be Mr. Sly Cooper himself. Yeah. Or like Fantastic Mr. Fox or something. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's just interesting. It's just a living experience, really. It's just life. No one is the same as someone else, not even twins. You know? Everyone is different. Everyone has their own mind. Melon. Everyone can be influenced by others, but it's still up to you to make conscious decisions. They can't make it for you, even though they can influence you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Even if you force the muzzle into the water, they can still decide not to drink the water. You know? So that's how that goes. Enjoy life. Enjoy doing what you like doing. The more positive you are, the more positivity you will bring. Even if negativity is out there, because negative people don't like positivity, funnily enough. That's why they're so negative. But if you have enough people who are positive about stuff, they can actually push away the negativity. That's something I feel like a lot of people should learn, especially as a streamer. If you garner a positive community, it's like right at 2000 as well. If you generate enough positivity or enough people who are positive about stuff, they will push away the negative people. You can plant a watermelon seed, but you can't make it a cauliflower. But I'm not a watermelon, Bob. I'm a muskmelon. I'm not a suika. I'm a melon. Suika じゃないメロンだよ。ひひひ。Yeah. かわいいメロン。めっちゃかわいいね。Okay, so... But yeah, this game's still great. I like this game a lot. It's a very chill game. Okay. That works. Nice. I've heard of it being called cantaloupe and rock melon, but never muskmelon. Yeah. I grew up with cantaloupe as well. I never heard it as rock melon, but I have heard muskmelon, yeah. Muskmelon, cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is probably the more common one, yeah. Hmm. Okay. How do I want to do this? Okay, gravity. I always thought you were watermelon, but chose the different color scheme today. I learned you're the other type of melon. Yeah! Yeah. meloncollieflaur. Yeah, muskmelon. If you look up like cantaloupe or muskmelon, you can also see like the whole stem thing as well. I guess I just don't have the cross marks or the diagonal like cross marks and whatnot. But yeah, that's another reason why when you mentioned something along the lines of your family bought a watermelon, at least I think this was you. Your family bought a watermelon, but it went bad. Maybe it wasn't you, I don't remember. But someone said that, they were like, I bought a watermelon, but it went bad. Or something like that. I was like, oh, that's okay. I'm not the edible one. It was you? Oh, okay. That's another reason why my tongue is orange and the inside is green, like a muskmelon. Small details and whatnot is all. But yeah, it's funny though. I do know, or not know, but I have seen a watermelon VTuber. They're like a watermelon cat. Very cute, very cute. I'm gonna look up muskmelons and find ones with side stems. Okay, well, you may not find that in particular. This was just a nice idea. Reaper melon because you reap what you sow. 2789. 2789. I guess that'll be it for me today. This was really fun. I enjoyed this today. Enjoyed the talking as well. 聞いてくれてありがとう。聞いてくれてありがとう。Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And yes, I will say, since I am small, if you did enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe, or hit the notification bell. Maybe I could brighten your day. That is what I aim for, after all. Like I said, I will still continue to, I guess, do some of the we're just gonna zoom into those eyes that are going in between the menu there. I will continue to do some of the runs on Super Paper Mario, but I will also go back to some of the other stuff that I was doing as well. Or maybe try something new as well. That I'm not sure yet, but please stay tuned. I'm not very good at this content creating stuff, but I'm trying. I don't know what I'm good at. I guess I should just keep trying things until I figure that out. But, you know. But at any rate, I'm meloncollieflaur, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Oh, it's Melon.